And now, live from the Indie Atlantic studios of ISW, it's Inside the Soundwave with your host, Mr. Soundwave.
Sunny, rainy Florida. Duty gets...
Fourth. It's the fourth.
It's the fourth? Today's the third.
No, it's the fourth.
Oh, it's... Yeah, my engineer.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. If I have to listen to what he says.
The earpiece.
Well, let me tell you what. My engineer said it was the third, so I'm going to blame him.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show today, April 4th, here in Indie Atlantic, Florida. Today I have with me Jim Griffin. Jim, thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here.
Absolutely.
I've heard so much about you. I've seen videos. I did run in on one occasion and did hear you guys for about 15 minutes, but then ran to the next place.
What was that? I didn't see you.
No, I don't usually. I come in and...
Oh, incognito.
Yeah, well, not really. I kind of stand off to the back.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
If you from, a corner of the bar or wherever, I can squeeze in and then listen and then... But tremendous voice.
Thank you.
Jim has an incredible voice, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that.
We're going to exploit that.
Yeah. How long have you been singing now? Tell me.
I think you opened up a can of worms there. I actually haven't been singing lead for a very long time. Not
right.
At all.
That's what I heard. You haven't really up front.
No, I just kind of got a wild hair and did it,
See? Yeah. See,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, you're natural.
Yeah.
I think you are.
Thank you.
Tremendous. We're going to hear him sing today in the show when we have Chris Rivas with us also.
Back there lurking around.
Back there walking around in the soundstage theater here, tuning guitars and kind of like enjoying himself, like we are.
He is. He's having a good time.
I'm glad you brought Chris today.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you was New Year's Eve, when we were all jamming upstairs in the studio.
I heard about that already.
That was fun.
I won't repeat what I heard, but I heard.
Yeah.
I heard stories. I heard things.
Yeah, we had Stephen Foster here and a couple other guys. It was fun. Ian was here. Yes, Ian's got the keyboards behind me. Now, let's get to Jim. Jim, KRS, Jim.
The KRS.
The KRS.
Only a couple people know what that means.
What's that mean?
Well, we're originally from Kentucky. My wife and I and kids and all that stuff. Kentucky, KY.
Just up the road a little ways.
Just a bit. Shout out to KY, Northern Kentucky, a little city called Maysville. Maysville, Kentucky is where I'm originally from. So, we've been down here for 12 years. And we lived in Merritt Island. But, we're from Maysville, so...
Presently in Merritt Island.
Been in Merritt Island for 12 years, yeah. Well, when we first moved, we was in Rockledge for a little bit. But,
yeah.
But mostly Merritt Island.
I think everybody's lived in Rockledge
at one point or another.
I mean, in the 80s, I was in Rockledge.
I think Gandhi lived in Rockledge for a little bit. Just like a week.
Nice place up there. Merritt Island's really nice.
Yeah. Nice.
But Kentucky's nicer.
Well, it's beautiful, but it gets cold. I don't like cold. I don't do cold.
Yeah.
So about 12 years ago, we moved down, and been here ever since. And now all the guys that I'm working with now, the acronym is the KRS, and that's the Kentucky Rockstar. Because I did the music up there, and
do you go by KRS?
No, it's just a funny thing. I just think it's hilarious. The KRS, the Kentucky Rockstar. So, Rizola texted me last night, said, give him KRS. I'm not going to actually tell you what he texted me.
Right,
but it was not on live TV. We may do it after the cameras go off.
Well, that's okay. We've had all kinds of things happen on this show.
Yeah, you never know.
Including a jacuzzi report.
It's live. You can't bleep me.
We had a girl in the jacuzzi with bubbles, and the guy that was with her almost drowned that day. Actually,
it's that type of show.
He fell into the jacuzzi. We won't say why. Well, he fell in it. Well, anyways, we'll keep on.
We'll get to that later.
We got to get on now here.
I told you they were going to make us laugh. I actually said me, but she got to you before me.
Back
Security.
Tell them why Chris didn't make it here today.
Chris is he's a busy guy.
He's a busy guy. We do have some bad weather here, too.
We got some bad weather, and he does live in Boca, so it's a 2.5-hour drive.
It's a drive.
It's a drive,
Yeah.
And he really wanted to be here. I mean, he really, really wanted to be here.
He didn't want to meet me, I know that. I'm not
He said,
guy.
I don't want to meet Will.
I know that Soundwave guy, Will, or whatever, I don't.
Not only with being with Steelheart is that his living, but he's a teacher. He's been a musical guitar teacher for 20 plus years.
Wow.
So he had a brilliant, absolutely brilliant guitarist. Brilliant guitarist. I can't say enough about him. I mean, I love the guy to death. I mean, I'm a guitarist as well. I don't want to sing. I'm a guitarist, but when I sit down and play with him, he starts, with all the. Well, wait a minute. You got to flat the seventh. You got to hit the eighth with the ninth. And I'm like, well, dude, speak English. What do you? I don't know what you're talking about. But it's all up here.
It's all there.
It's all right there.
Yeah, that guitar's part of him. He knows.
It's all right there. Yeah.
Every angle.
So he had a lot of lessons lined up that he actually couldn't get out of, and then the drive, and again, and a couple other things. Again, he really wanted to be here.
I usually go the Florida Turnpike and get off at Glades.
I do too. That's exactly right. Because you shave 30 minutes off all day long.
Yeah, but it's a drive. It is a drive.
But then you got to pay the tolls. So, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
All right. We don't mind tolls too much.
We don't mind.
Well,
it's Florida. We know what tolls are.
Well, I know Jack's a good friend of mine. Jack Starr. He's been on. He was on the show way in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like show 6 or something.
I watched that show. Yeah. Jack's a great guy, great guitarist.
Great guitarist.
Great guitarist. Yeah.
Between him and Chris, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's wailing away there.
We're wailing away. Yeah. Yeah. And then you're going to throw Steve Murray into it. I mean, come on. Forget about it.
Oh yeah. GS.
I like to get around good guitarists and just hoard them. Just bring them in. You ain't going in. I'm going to play with you here. I'm going to play with you here.
Well, they really do give you the confidence,
Absolutely.
To get up there and say, "Hey, listen to this." Well, listen to me too. It brings you right
Absolutely.
up. Absolutely, it really does.
Even as a singer, when you got a great back line behind you, you just took half of the workload off the job, because you got that behind you. It just makes it 10 times easier.
Yep.
So
it gives you that little extra,
little bump.
To hit that note way up there
that you didn't think you could hit. You actually couldn't do it in rehearsal, but wait a minute.
Yeah, you heard that guitar go way up there.
Where'd that come from?
Going way up there, too. That's good. I've heard you sing, though. Remarkable.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you.
You're going to be doing some more singing, I'm sure, around in the future here.
Absolutely.
You got some stuff lined
Absolutely.
up.
With the quality of guys that I'm working with right now, Rizola being one of them. The whole full band yet with Rizola has not even yet to be determined.
Right.
We don't even have, I can't tell you the lineup because we don't even know. Rizola is kind of, he's been with Steelheart since, they got signed, I think, in 91.
Right.
And he was with them for 9 years before they even got signed. That's how long they played out. 9 years before they got signed. And
tough business.
It's a tough business, absolutely. And, he's done his thing. He's still with Steelheart. But he's wanted to do, another project. He wants it to be, handcrafted, handpicked.
It's separated from Steelheart.
Separated from Steelheart, right. But we're not going to do corner bar gigs. that's not going to happen. We're not going to be playing, a 4-hour set. We're not going to be doing stuff like that. It's going to be, the bigger gigs, the 1 hour set, hour and a half tops. Do our originals and boom in, out. Whether we're opening for nationals or whatever, that's the game plan. That's the game plan.
Wow.
Now we do have one thing booked as of right now, and that's the Space Coast Music Festival, but that's not till September.
Right.
Okay, we will be playing that.
Oh, they're pushing that out already.
Yeah, they're pushing that out already.
Yep.
So it's already on Facebook.
Right.
And the guy right back there taking pictures and tuning guitars, Chris Rivas, he's going to be on stage with us for sure on that one.
Yeah, well,
Chris is a great guitar player. He runs a good block.
Plays drums good too.
So that should be fun. It's for a good cause. Obviously, it's to raise money for musical instruments.
Right.
I think for Mila Elementary. Is that what it is? Or is it for all of Brevard?
I think it's the schools.
Is it for the schools?
I thought it was for the schools. Yeah, I think.
So that's kind of. There's no
great
pay,
cause.
but
That's a great event.
it's not a paying gig, but that's okay.
Yeah, well,
It's not like we're going to pour concrete for free. We're going to play music, you know.
Which is our talent given to us.
What we like to do, exactly.
And,
exactly.
You got to spread it out there. Let everybody hear you. You got to enjoy it. It's a good cause. How many of us play charities? And I mean, it's endless.
I'll play a charity. No, if anybody calls for anything, if it's a charity, all right, I'm in.
We've got our autism coming up here on the 27th.
I think I did see that on Facebook.
And you know, it's 8 or 9 bands, and they're all going to come in and play a set, and it's charity. You know, everybody. But you can watch it right here. You sit in your home, out on your patio, and say, "I'm going to watch it."
Right, right. And again, you know, the bands are not going to pour concrete for charity. They're going to do something they love to do.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, it's obviously a labor of love. Nobody else would work for this cheap.
No.
Chris Reedus would.
And around here, I always have to say this every show. I have to go. Just have to mention a little bit about it. Around here, you know, Brevard's tight. The number 1 county in the United States of America with foreclosures is Brevard County.
And I'm a contractor. Great.
Number 1. And how many counties are in this country?
A lot.
And we're number 1. So we were pulling through. We are in paradise, even though we're in that kind of...
It could be worse. There could be 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
And be number 1 in foreclosures.
In foreclosures, exactly.
People are out intense. We're blessed, but it is rough for the musicians here because it's rough to get paid around here because even the bars are packed. No, even the bars are having a hard time paying people.
Sure.
Because, I go ahead and say it. Number 1, what the hell?
Right.
Number 1 county and city around, I think, in the United States of America is Melbourne and Palm Bay for liquor consumption. It's great. We got
happy.
We have one of the best mixes right here in Brevard. We're number 1 in a lot of the things, you know. So evidently the bars are making money and the musicians
the coffee cup. It creates illusion. No one really knows what's in here.
We're number 1 in the bars are making money, okay, but we'll get the door anyways. But thank you guys. We love you all. We love our music. We really do here in Brevard. We got some of the best musicians in the world. Like one sitting right next to me, and Chris out there in the audience. And last night we had one of the better bands around
Teaser,
here.
I mean, come on. GS Teaser, Guitar Steve.
Yeah, you know, we got Zen 4.0 next week. Let's get back to you. I'm getting off the track. You guys steering me wrong here. Close the door because I'm going outside. I'm just kidding. What got you into music?
What got me into music? That's a loaded question. Actually, a lot of people say this. I started out as a drummer. You know, in grade school, I wanted to play those drums. You know, I'd go to the high school basketball games, and I'd see the drum lines up there just twirling, and bada, paradiddle this, and flam. I'm like, that is so freaking cool. I got to be a drummer. Cool. It's so cool. And
it's a little hard.
It is hard. Mm-hmm. It is hard. So 5th grade, I go in as a drummer all the way through high school. I mean, I played the full kit in the jazz band, you know, marching band. I was the lead snare, crack. But I wanted to play guitar too.
Yeah.
So I would play drums at school at the 5th grade, and I'd go home and play guitar. Pick up the guitar and just pick around.
Acoustic?
Oh, no. Actually, a friend of mine came over because my dad owned a store there in town. He owned a shoe store. Back in the day when they sold good men's clothing, now you can't go anywhere and get a good men's clothing. It's all women's. You know, you go into Macy's, the whole floor is for women, and there's this little cubby hole. You go into men's bathroom, and that's the men's section back there in the corner. I digress. But I'd go home. An employee of my father had a little Sears and Roebuck, you know.
Oh, here we are.
Sears and back to Sears and Roebuck. Yeah, you're talking about the same thing with Steve. I was watching a show.
Wow. Everybody, Jack, everybody, Silvertone.
So I went home to the Sears and Roebuck.
No, Sears was number 1.
They had the little 2-watt amp, you know, like that big around, and I went home and
2-watt amp
and picked around. And by the time I got out of high school, I was really good at the guitar.
Yeah.
No lessons, never had a lesson, anything other than drums, obviously in school,
Right.
Because they teach you how to play.
Right.
But as far as guitar, no, it was, play and rewind. You play and rewind, play and rewind with the little cassette tape. You'd put it in there, hit play, and learn that little part, pause, and then you'd figure it out, and then rewind it and get it, and then you go on a little bit further. So by the time I got out of high school, I was pretty decent at guitar. So I'm like, I don't want the drummers anymore.
Yeah.
You know what type of guys hang around musicians, don't you?
What kind?
Drummers. He's a
Okay.
drummer.
He's a drummer. I'm a drummer. Well,
I told you I was going to make drummer jokes.
I get it all the time. I don't care. This is a drummer studio. We don't really care about the singers and the guitarists. We care about the drummers.
I'll tell
here.
one of myself real quick. How long does it take a singer to change a light bulb?
How long?
About 3 years. Because he climbs up the ladder and he puts his hand on the bulb. And he waits on the whole world to revolve around him.
3 years. Woo!
So anyway, back to that. So once I got out of high school, I was like, let's do some
was
guitar
good.
stuff. And so I started jamming around with a bunch of local friends and stuff like that on the guitar. And ended up forming this band out of a little town out of Ohio, Manchester, Ohio. It was a rough little town.
Kentucky, Ohio.
Right there on the river. Right there. We
right
lived
on
right on the
on
Ohio
the-
River.
Okay.
So Ohio for us was like, going from Rockledge to Merritt Island. You just went over
Yeah.
the bridge.
Yeah.
You
There you go.
Yeah, it's
I
right there.
know what you mean.
They were both home, It's like Rockledge and Merritt Islands are different states. You had Kentucky and Ohio. Right there, we were right on the Ohio River. And so I went to this little town in Manchester, a little river town, rough little town. We actually dubbed it Man Stretcher. Because if you didn't watch your mouth in Manchester, Ohio, you would end up on a man stretcher. That was the joke. So it was Man Stretcher, Ohio. So I got with these guys up there, and we formed this band.
That's cool.
And did a lot of playing in the garage, whatever. I met a lot of good musicians then. One real great musician. He played bass, but he's actually a brilliant vocalist. Brilliant vocalist. He actually sang for the, I think it's the Army Choir.
Wow.
Yeah, he sang on the Jerry Lee Lewis show.
Ooh.
A solo on the Jerry Lee Lewis show. Jeff Wells. I'm going to give you a shout out, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
And we'd play in the drummer, his name was Monty Meyer. We'd play in his garage. His dad hated it. He hated it. He'd come out there griping every time we'd play. But we did it anyway. Of course, he's only 18 years old. What are you going to do, kill us? And we used to do a lot of drinking at the practices, and we drank a lot of tequila. So we ended up calling the band Tequila, because somebody would come in and say, "Oh, I can't drink that. That stuff will kill you." And I went, "Hey, wait a minute.
Tequila.
Tequila to kill you. That ain't bad." So we formed a band called Tequila. And we did really, really well. Really well. Really, really well. We was one of the biggest bands in the area. We'd travel up to Cincinnati, because Cincinnati was really
cool.
close.
Yeah.
It was like 40, 45 minutes west.
That's not too bad.
No, not bad. Not like going to Orlando. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're gonna play anything big around here, you got to
Just
go to
follow
Orlando.
the snow plows, you'll be all right.
Just follow the snow plows. Make sure the salt trucks are out.
Right.
But back to Jeff Wells, he was a really brilliant singer, and he wasn't even the singer for the group, because he loved to sing harmonies. He always told me, he's like, that's where the talent is. If you can match, if that singer's on pitch, this is where you need to be. This is your third. This is your fourth. This is your seventh.
That's great.
And he would, and I just got it, and I went, wow, this is so cool. I didn't even want that lead mic. I wanted that harmony.
Yeah.
Because we would pull off four-point harmonies that were just.
What a feeling.
Oh yeah. Once that locks in.
Oh.
Once that locks in, there's nothing like it. When those four-part harmonies lock in, it's just like.
You're floating.
You're floating. You're floating.
My engineer's screaming at me. I got a red flag in front of me on the monitor. It's telling me, shut up, Will, go to break. Okay, we're going to go to break. We're going to watch
have one of
a video right now, a video of
Are you going to play the? You're going to play the.
I Am Kane.
Oh, we haven't even got to that yet, but go ahead and play it. Yeah, I got to explain that later. So.
Okay, when we come back from the video, we'll have Jim explain it to you. Watch the video so you'll understand what Jim's talking about when we come back. You heard me. Watch the video. Bye. Be right back.
sunny place. I'm a monument stone. I got the crossroads between Hades and the river Styx. I've been here time out of mine, yeah. Fear and hate are all that grieve me every day. Weight of judgment falls on me. Spirit's broken, soul is all but lost. I still have my name, but I am king. I was king of the
Welcome back to Inside the Soundwave with your host, Mr. Soundwave.
Cause again in the funk
And we're back.
We're back.
We're back. Now,
I'm glad you heard that.
the video. You did your homework, you watched the video. Now, go ahead and explain the video.
The video is by Shadow Gang. Shadow Gang's another group in the Boca, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. I met them through Chris, great guys. And we was, we was working with them for a while, and it kind of didn't work out. But then they asked me, do you want to come record these couple of tunes with me? Because Chris actually went off to do an audition with a major act. We're not going to go there, but so while Chris was off doing his thing, I was like, sure, I love going in the studio. I love doing session work. That's the fun part. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the pieces. They already had the music written, and they said, and I love the tune. Said, you guys want to come in and do the vocals on this? And I'm like, absolutely. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll take you up on it, cowboy. So that's the. It's not really a video. It's like a, but we're working on that. I'm doing that kind of a deal with them and working with other things.
They can see that on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on YouTube. Yeah, just type in Shadow Gang and it'll go right there.
Shadow Gang.
Shadow Gang, yeah, and it'll go right
Check it
there.
out.
Great bunch of guys, nice guys. The guitar player actually just got married on Sunday. He was at his wedding in Singer Island. Unfortunately, I had to drive home, so I didn't get to stay late, but it's probably a good thing.
Singer Island.
Singer Island, yeah. Right north of West Palm. I'm sure it got crazy. Congratulations, Spike, for getting married. Spike and Mary Beth, yes. As Karen corrects me behind screen.
Yes.
A.K.A. Yoko.
Hey, yeah. Okay. Anyways, we'll stop that one too. Don't let me.
We digress.
Okay. Any specific influences?
Specific influences.
Yeah,
Everybody asks that. It's like going to a job interview and somebody says, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" You're like, "Whoa, you're future tripping, dude." Influences. What really is an influence? I can sit here and give you some pretty names of some, famous people like Randy Rhoads, Matijevich of Stillheart. I mean, as a vocalist, come on, forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not really an influence to me. Is people that I grew up with that taught me something along the way. So there's hundreds of them. I learned something. You can never be a brilliant musician. You're always going to learn something from somebody. You can be playing guitar for 30 freaking years and sit down with a beginner, and you're going to go, hey, that's pretty cool. And you're going to take that with you. So is that kid an influence? Absolutely, he is. So I've got tons of influences all the way through my life, starting by, I already gave a shout out to Jeff Wells, my wife and kid Karen and the kids who are sitting out there in the audience now, they're influences. My little boy over there will come out and go, hey, Daddy, play Dead or Alive, because he likes the way I play it. Now, does that influence me to play it again? Absolutely it does. So he's one of my influences. And it just keeps going. I stop with all the pretty names. Guitar Steve's an influence. Chris Azzola's a great influence. I learned off this crazy guy out there taking pictures, Chris Ravis,
Mm-hmm.
He did something over there. I didn't tell him. And I was like, hey, that was pretty cool how you did that. So I'm going to take it home and I'm going, hey, I want to do it this way now. So he's an influence. Everybody along my way is an influence. If you didn't have influences along your way, why are you still doing this? Because there would stop being influences. People going, hey, you're good, or hey, you do this, or hey, I like the way you did that, or you pick up something. The train would stop.
Right.
Without influences.
Yep.
So saying that there's just one influence in my life is kind of a blanket statement that doesn't really hold a lot of weight with me.
Very, very nice.
Very nice answer. I practiced that one.
I like that. I don't know about you guys out there. I'm enjoying myself.
It's fun. Again, you still don't know what's in this cup.
But listen to him.
It could get a lot better.
That's pretty good. I love it. We got some influences.
Yeah, absolutely. I learn every day. I learn
Yeah,
every day.
actually, everybody that comes in the studio, for some reason or another, they amaze me.
Yeah.
And even
You
if
learn
it's
something every day,
one
whether
little
you
thing.
like it or not.
You
You're
know,
gonna
and I'll
learn something.
remember that person too. It's kind of funny because there's thousands of people that come in, and I'll remember that one little thing they did. You know,
Right,
that's
right.
I said, man, I remember when he did.
As long as you keep that mind open
Yeah,
and not get arrogant to where, oh, I'm this, I don't need anybody else. Once you say, I don't need to learn anymore, you're done.
you're done.
You're through.
You're done.
Because you can learn from anybody every day. You keep that mind open, you keep going forward, you're going to learn something every
And
day.
I say it all the time. That one drummer that comes into my place.
Oh, back to the drummer.
No, yeah, that back to the drummer. Hey, wait a minute now. We've got a hell of an army.
I love it. I told you I was going to make jokes.
One drummer comes in here, and every time he comes into the studio, he always has a little tidbit for me about something about drums. And whether it be a little device he has or how he hooked up a drum differently. Or Michael Wright from the Bone Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Okay, yeah.
Michael amazes me every time.
I didn't know him by name, but I've seen the Bone Dogs.
phenomenal.
Absolutely.
He's a perfectionist, and everything he does is just got to be just right. But every time he comes in, he always influences me by saying, you know, as old as I am, and as long as I've been playing drums, he always has something for me that I said, wow, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
Amazing. I like that.
Exactly.
That's cool. Influences are
They're
every
never
day.
ending.
Never
They're
ending.
never ending.
That's true. They're
never ending.
That's a good thought.
Unless it's a negative influence, then I, wash that away.
Right.
Somebody comes up and say, "Hey, you suck." I'm like, "All right, I didn't hear that influence." let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's flush that one.
Let's flush that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do that. We can do that.
Well, let's get on because my timer's
You're running out of time. Man, that went quick.
Quick, tell the people how you hooked up with GS Steve.
GS Steve, as in a little quickie. I didn't even want to be a singer. This is before I was even singing lead. I put an ad on Craigslist, for God's sakes. And it's like, hey, I want to sing lead. So this band out of Orange City, up north, said, yeah, come up and sing with us. So we went up there and I sang with the guys. Great bunch of guys, but it just didn't click. If it's not there, it's not there. Well, why beat a dead horse? It just wasn't there. Great bunch of musicians. It just wasn't my thing. Mm-hmm. But the guitarist, or not the guitarist, bass player, said, you're from Merritt Island, right? And I said, yeah. He said, I got a friend in Cocoa you probably need to meet. And it was Steve. It was Steve. So I went to Orange City for that reason. I had to drive an hour and a half north to meet a guy 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, he's right there in Cocoa.
But that's the way things happen. Everything happens for a reason.
And you drove there.
Yeah, why not? Why not sleep when I'm dead?
And that's how we met Steve.
That's how we met Steve.
And I must say it on the air, here on the show. I love you, Steve.
Steve's a great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
All right, I'm flashing red
You're
again.
flashing red.
I'm getting hard at in my ear. Take a break. And now we're going to see a video.
Is this going to be Steel Heart?
This is a Steel Heart video. You need to watch this video because you're coming back and you're going to hear Chris Rivas and Jim.
Local boy wonder, Chris Rivas.
Watch this. Watch them perform. Are you doing two songs? One or two?
Whatever. One, two.
Enjoy what they do. Don't go away. This isn't the Tuesday.
And they're going to be covers, by the way. They're going to be covers.
This isn't
no originals until
right. This is not
out.
a boring Skype thing. Okay, this is live right now here in Indy Atlantic. We're not talking to somebody in Buffalo, New York, from 48 years ago. We love you. Don't go away. This is live right here. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I like country. I remember the days when our lives were so complete.
As is. We're going to shout those out a little bit later, yeah. So as I said, we're not going to do original music yet. Will says, hold on. So I shall hold on. You got me loud and clear back there? 2-2, do you hear me now? From the guitar or the mic? Both. This mic, how about that? Same thing.
Yeah, that sounds much better than that one.
Go ahead. He's got, as long as you're coming through the street.
As long as we're coming through the back, we're good. Can you hear the guitar in the back? All right. Are you ready, Mr. Chris Rivas? As if you didn't know, this is Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi.
It's all the same. I'm a cowboy, and I still hold side. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes I got for taste. The people of me, know the several ways. Sometimes I tell the day, not a bottle that you drink. Something alone, and all you do is think. 'Cause I'm a cowboy, and still holds out. Wanted, dead or alive. Wanted, dead or dead or alive. Now watch it trees, the mistakes ring on mine. Play for keeps, 'cause I'm not gonna make it back. I'm everywhere, still I'm standing tall. I've seen a million faces, you're not rock no more.
Mr. Chris Rivas back here. Mr. Chris Rivas. Thank you. That was a bit fun. Of course, I'm going to sweat, so now my hair is going to curl up. My daughter's going to have to get a straightening iron back out. Are we going to do one more? Okay, we're going to do one more. We okay? All right, we're gonna cheese it up again. This is nothing but covers. You may think this song's cheesy. But everybody at home is going to be singing the words.
Together, we feel miles apart inside. Was something I said, something I did, and my words not come out right. Gonna try not to hurt you, gonna try to hurt against. That's why they say every rose has its thorn. Just like every night I just don't want. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. I listen to my favorite song playing on the radio. Yeah, the DJ says life's a game of easy come and easy go. Well, I wonder, does he know? Has it ever felt like this? You know that you would be here right now if I could let you know somehow. I guess every rose has its thorn. Just like every night I just don't want. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Though it's been a while now, I can still feel so much pain. Like a knife that cuts through the moon hills, but the stars remain. I know I could have stayed another night if I had known what to say. Instead of making love, we both made a separate ways. He found somebody new, and I never meant that much to you. To hear that tears me up inside, and to see you cuts me like a knife. I guess every rose has its thorn. Just like every night has its dawn. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its own.
Chris Rivas, ladies and gentlemen. Studio audience, Mr. Chris Rivas.
Mr. Taylor, we're ready for you. Are you ready to play some Bach?
Hey, I'm ready to play some Bach banjo style.
We up? We're on.
We're on.
We're on. Oh, we're different. We look different. I guess the camera got moved. Not really.
Oh, we moved?
We got moved back a little bit. It's kind of good. We're back. We got a lot more information to come
That's
up.
my boy.
How did you like that performance? Was that not good? Great performance. Great performance.
With help of my little friend.
Yeah, Chris, great job. We're going to have Chris leave us on the show here somewhere down the road in the near future.
Sure.
Jim will come and help you, and we'll bring some other guys in with you too, right? And we'll bring everybody in. And we'll have a jam.
There you go.
All right, I'll play.
That's what he's fishing for.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
I am on the drum.
I've been wanting to play anyways. I've been wanting to have a jam here. We got to have a jam.
We can do that.
Really?
We can do that.
We can stream it.
We can stream it. I'm in.
Let's do it.
Again, I told you earlier, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll take you right up on it, buddy.
All right, good. All right, we got a lot of information here. Let's get how you got hooked up with Rizzola.
How I got hooked up with Rizzola? That's well, his sister Nancy. What's up, Nancy? Lives in Merritt Island and has for a while. And I was doing about 6-7 years ago, I think. I was doing just an acoustic thing, just me and an acoustic guitar. Because I was kind of over the band thing.
Was that here in Brevard?
Here in Brevard, yeah. And I was doing the acoustic thing, and it just so happened my oldest son, who was 24, soon to be 25, Lance. What's up, Lance? was learning to play guitar, and one of his friends, Ryan Case, was learning to play his Gibson Les Paul. So I was doing an acoustic thing out at Shuttles in Merritt Island, and Ryan called me up and said, "Hey, Mr. Griffin," he still called me Mr. Griffin. I was like, "Dude, it's okay, call me Jim." And he said, "Can I bring my Gibson Les Paul out and play a couple of songs with you?" I said, "Absolutely, bring it out." So I'm out there playing, I'm doing my acoustic thing. Little Ryan gets up there, little at the time, you know, this is 6-7 years ago. He's doing this thing, and I'm kind of keeping him in time. I'm like, Ryan, come on, you're a little off time, but whatever. And I went on break, and Nancy in Merritt Island, Nancy Rizzola, comes up to me, and she says, "You look like a rocker." And I said, "Well, what gave it away? Was it the hair?" She's like, "Do you remember Stillheart?" I said, "Of course I remember Stillheart. I got every album." She said, "My brother is the lead guitar and founding member, or one of the founding members of Stillheart, and he's inside eating dinner. Would you like to meet him?" I'm like, that's a rhetorical question, number one. So I'm like, absolutely, take me in there. Yeah. So I go in there, and Chris and I met and hit it off right away. He's one of the coolest dudes in the world. We get along great. And I said, "Why don't you come play a couple of tunes? I've got a Gibson Les Paul out there." Any other night, I would not have had a lead guitar out there. Right. But just because Ryan showed up and wanted to play a couple of tunes, that was the night Rizzola was there. Wow. And he said, "You got a Gibson out there, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, get up there." And I do a lot of capo work when I do my, because I find my voice stays more in pitch in the higher register. Mm-hmm. So a lot of songs, I'll capo up, right? You know, to keep my voice higher to stay. Because if I go deep, it kind of it's shady, right? You know, to say the least. And we was playing Hotel California, and I was like, "Chris, I'm capoed up 3, you know, a step and a half from where this is normally. So your solo is going to be off." He said, "I'll find you, just start." So I started a step and a half up, and that guy never missed one note. A step and a half up from where he normally plays it, and I was sold from that day forward. I was like, "How did you just do that?" He knows his fretboard so well. You can change on him like that. And he goes, "Okay, you're in this key. Boom, 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 boom." And I was just like, "Oh, my God, this is great. It's amazing." So from there, we became fast friends, and then the rest is history, I guess.
Well, because I see pictures of you on Facebook.
Yeah. We go down to his place a lot.
There all the time. I see him bopping around.
Well, we're doing a lot of pre-production work down at his place. He's got a little studio set up in his house. He's got his Pro Tools, you know, set up, and we go down there and we write, and we go ahead and get the pre-production work done, you know, before we go to the studio.
Yeah,
you know, we get all of that done. So we have it down, and then when we go into the studio, we just boom.
Because when you get in the studio, you got to have it done right. I mean,
right.
You have to be right on.
And I thought I was a stickler for details.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, baby doll.
I can imagine. Yep.
But you know what? I've never actually made it in the music business. And a guy told me years ago, he said, "If you want to be rich, get around rich people and do what they do. If you want to be famous in the rock world, get around famous rock stars and do what they do." Right. So when he says something, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I never thought of that. But it made sense.
Learning.
Yeah. He's the one that told me, "No originals. Do not play an original on the air. Don't even tell him the title. Don't do it."
Oh, not in this day and age. You don't want to tell anybody anything.
Because I was going to come in here and play an original that Karen and I wrote. It's a great tune. He called me up last night. He's like, "No originals."
No, you know what'll happen next week on the Today Show? It'll be Justin Bieber singing your song.
Somebody will rape that thing. It'll be over. Yeah. Because when you write a great song, you want to play it. You want people to hear it.
Well, that's what they're all doing, though. Hey, I wrote this song. Guess where it's on?
It's on
MySpace.
YouTube.
It's on, you know. Hey, and guess what? Then about a year later down the road, you hear this famous person, "Gee, that sounds like my song."
That's because it is
cool. Your song. Yes, don't do it. Sit on it. Wait till it's ready, and then put it in the studio, and then make sure it's copyrighted and BMI'd, and ask it the whole thing.
The music is a business just like any other.
They're stealing
just like any other. Just like any other. That's all a business. So.
And that nice, sweet little check you'd be getting every month, you know, for the song 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road.
Could be yours, kid.
Yeah, it could be. And it could be somebody else's if you can't sit on it and wait. Well, that was pretty cool. That's a good story about Chris.
Yeah, it's a good story. And then I wasn't even singing with him at the time. You know, we just did that one thing. He was actually up for the crew jams, which
Right.
I want to brush on that and plug that. Nancy has these crew jams, and I think we're going on how many, Chris? 20. This would be 20. 21st crew jam. And how that all started is
Wow.
Nancy Rizzola, Chris. Yeah, it's open to anybody. Nancy started this as a group of recovering addicts. What were they called? They were called the not the Rat Pack or the Wrecking Crew. That's it, the Wrecking Crew. And they started.
Where is it?
Well, it changes locations.
All right.
You know, it's TBD. It depends on whatever Nancy's in charge.
It's in Florida.
It's in Florida. Yeah, that's all we know.
Okay, but it's in Florida. That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, we just did one February 10th in Merritt Island.
Okay,
We
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw those pictures.
So it's grown and grown and grown over the years. Over the, you know, again, we're going on the 22nd one. I just got involved about 6
that's
years
really
ago
cool,
with it.
too.
Yeah.
Yes,
It started off with like 10 guys, you know, and again, Nancy, being the sister of Chris, she'd always call Chris up and he'd come up and jam, you know, being Chris from Stillheart or whatever. And John from his brother that lives out in California is another brilliant guitar player. Completely different style, blues. That guy can pump out the blues like you wouldn't believe. And so, hey, John, out in Cali. And that's how it grew. And now it's just gotten to the last one on February 10th. It was insane. I think we had like 250, 300 people there. GS Teaser played. Jack Starr's band came up and played.
I saw Jack there.
We had all kinds of people
Steve
come up
there.
and play. It's an absolute. Of course, I'm a scheduling type of guy, so it's a scheduling freaking nightmare with all these guys trying to get up, guys and gals. You know, they're supposed to have a certain time slot.
Oh, and they go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always a problem.
Keep a schedule in the music business. See how that works out for you.
No. It's really hard to give a guy 10 minutes or whatever and stay on that schedule.
Well, I was in charge of. Nancy always puts me in charge of the scheduling, so I did 45 minutes per band and then a 20-minute change out.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't even work on the first band. The first band, we was late 30 minutes getting set up, so that screwed that whole schedule.
Put you down right there.
I was done.
Boom.
Before we even put the first band on, I was done. So we just wung it. Whatever.
You have
Chris
to.
Rivas had the sound there. He took care of the sound. It was just AJ took care of the sound, and Nancy just puts on this whole huge spread of food, and it's all free. You don't pay a dime. Donations accepted, but you don't pay a dime to come here all day music and
And where was that one in February? What place was that?
it was in Merritt Island. It was
Right.
at Kelly Park in Merritt Island.
There
Yeah.
you go,
Yeah,
Kelly
yeah.
Park.
The next one's not to be announced, but she only does it like once a year, sometimes twice a year. So when the next one comes up, it'll be all over Facebook.
Of course, drummers are welcome, right?
Drummers are welcome. Drummers are welcome.
Okay, good. Because if we weren't welcome, we're going to all show up. It'd be a whole big army.
You're going to be there anyway, so I might as well just say you're welcome.
I'm going. Definitely want to go to the next one. I can't believe I missed the last one. So many things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Now you got to tell people about, before we have to sign off, I want you to tell everybody what's going on.
Okay,
with
upcoming
you.
events.
Where
If
you
we're-
going? What you doing?
Yeah, and of course, I do my thing time to time with Teaser. Although, you know, Mark did a great job. Was that his name, Mark, that just sung for him last
yeah,
night?
Mark
Yeah.
Mendoca.
He did a
Mendoca?
great job last night. I was extremely impressed.
I never
think-
heard Mark.
Well, we met him a couple of weeks ago, and Karen was talking to him, and he just belted out a couple of lines out of the Guns N' Roses, "Welcome to the Jungle." And I was like, well, that sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
And because she loves Axl Rose.
Well,
yeah.
I was caught off guard a little bit because I had billed it with you, and I'm going,
right.
okay, all
Right.
right. You know,
But Mark did an exceptional job.
scheduling
Yeah,
thing again.
I think, in my opinion, they may ought to freaking keep that as their full-time lineup. You know, because I can't be there every time, and so that kind of leaves him in limbo.
you're working on.
I'm working on
another
a couple
project.
other deals,
Sure,
and you know.
can't. Well, you always keep the window open and door
Right,
open.
you never burn a bridge in
Don't
any
burn the
business,
bridge.
in
Now
any
I found out
business.
if you burn.
But we love Steve. I mean, Steve's the greatest cat in the world. I mean, I love Steve to death. I mean, if he called me up tomorrow and said, "Hey, I need you tonight," as long as I wasn't tied into something else, I'll be all right, Steve. I'll be there for you, brother.
Right.
You know, I
Because you got a hell of a
never
voice,
leave a man in the field. You know.
You can't,
So upcoming
Have
events.
somebody singing like you up front.
Thank you.
I'd like to be drumming behind somebody like you singing.
Then we're going to make that happen.
Baby.
That's going to happen.
I love it. I mean, I have a great singer in front of me with Bob Lambert. And everything he does, we got 50 songs, all original music. And
that guy just regurgitates original music. He takes a drink of water and spits up 5 songs. How does he do that?
Yeah,
how does he do that? How do you do that, Bob?
I don't know how he does it, but I'll always get always get a message in the morning.
What's in the cup?
You know, last night I woke up at 2 a.m. and this was ringing in my head.
Yeah, he just.
I love it. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Great guy.
If you get a singer like yourself and Bob and singers up front like that, drummers just automatically excel.
Absolutely.
They really do.
So things coming up.
Yeah, tell them.
Like I said, you know, with the group that I'm, the caliber of guys that I'm in, we're not doing the corner bar gigs. You know, I can't get them to do that. You know, it's not going to happen. So the thing right out of the gate is the Space Coast Music Festival is where you're going to see us in this area probably for the first time. Unless there's a crew jam before that, which I seriously doubt it. And if I'm wrong, Nancy, shoot me a quick text. It'll probably be the same freaking weekend. But the Space Coast Music Festival is where you're going to see this group first. And again, the whole group is not even yet to be determined.
No name.
No name. Well,
we're
working under the pretenses of no safe words, so that's kind of what we did. I'm going to have dinner with the drummer Friday night, which is, I'm not even going to divulge his name or who he plays with, but he's top echelon. So national, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be the first time.
National, not local?
No, well, he...
All right, well, enough.
With the national group. You know the group, believe me. Gold records on the wall. As far as teaser, I don't have anything booked with teaser yet. That I know of. Again, I'd be glad to do some more stuff with Steve. But again, Mark did such a great job. Maybe they'll keep that as the straight lineup. I mean, it was really good.
I'm just the drummer. You find me back there hiding behind the cymbals. But you guys, you all are great musicians.
So until September, you're probably not going to see anything. You're not going to see anything from me in this area. Well, it's a little private deal.
You can come here.
I'd do it. Yeah, absolutely. I would. Absolutely. As long as you're drumming.
I've got openings, you know. Chris, he kind of, I hear from him and then I don't.
Revis is back there doing a little dance. He's like, me.
He likes to play incognito once in a while.
I know
I
he does.
can't find him or I don't see him around, and then all of a sudden he's around. Got to stay close, buddy.
How much time we got left? Are we flashing?
Yeah,
I got a couple of plugs.
Could do the plugs. Don't worry about my engineer.
To get in touch with me, obviously I got a Facebook. You can Facebook Jim Griffin.
Tell them about where they can find you.
What's the word? Email. Yeah, that's it. Jim Griffin Live at yahoo.com. That's pretty easy. Jim Griffin Live at yahoo.com. Search me on Facebook at Jim Griffin Live at yahoo.com. It'll come right to it. Like my page, you know, chat with me, whatever. And then back to Chris. Chris is again, great guitarist, and he's been giving lessons to, one of his students is Moby. Paul Nelson, the guitarist for Johnny Winter Band, is one of Chris's students, and he actually gives Skype lessons. So if you want a Skype lesson, you know, you do your PayPal account, and if you're interested in that, you go to Chris Rizzola at yahoo.com, and you say, hey, such and such, this is who I am, and I want a Skype lesson, and you take it from there. So you can get a professional guitar lesson from a brilliant guitarist. If you're in England, Germany, California, or just don't even want to drive to Boca Raton, you can get a brilliant guitar lesson over Skype. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
And be prepared. You're gonna learn some stuff from that guy. Be
Chris Rizzola.
Prepared. You've been warned.
Now, before we sign off, I want to thank Jim for being here today. Anybody else in Kentucky you want to say hi to?
No, I've said hi all to the guys. I mean, it could go on forever. Karen's mom and dad's watching. You know, hi, Marianne and Doug. We're actually working on a big show up in Kentucky.
that's
We're getting
great.
sponsors lined up
That's great.
to get the whole group up there to do a show. We got John Carpenter and Mike Huff in Maysville. They're lining up sponsors because it's going to take a lot of money to get the group from here, 1,000 miles north. And they're lining all that up, so thank you guys. And once we get that ready, we're going to be heading up to Kentucky to do a live show in my hometown, which is going to be off the freaking chain.
That is so cool.
These people are going to need oxygen when we're done doing this show. And a great, I don't want to say little because it's a great venue. The place is called Night Moves.
A summertime thing.
It's going to be towards the end of summer, probably August, yeah. And Steve Talley is going to be the guy there taking care of it. So Steve, shout out to you. We're going to see you soon, brother. When it's on, it's on.
It's on. We'll keep everybody up to date on what you're doing too. I'll snoop around in case you're
absolutely. And it's all going to be on Facebook. So once it's announced, once it's official, it'll be on Facebook. This is the unofficial official announcement.
Official. Woo! You heard it first, right here.
Right
here. We'll put something together. We'll have Chris Rivas, you, who else we can get together and come on the show?
Sure.
We'll do one of the sound stages. We'll have it would really be nice to have a nice 2-hour jam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can do a little bit of something and we all jam. Even Jack will come over. He lives 3 streets away.
Yeah.
Right next door to me, actually.
Yeah, bring Jack over.
I live right over.
Oh, really? You live next to Jack?
I'm right down the 4 streets away. I know Jack. Yeah. He's 3 streets away from me, Jack. And so isn't what's his name? Carl Hudson lives right.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 streets that way.
2 streets that way. See, we're
all here. I want to thank Jim for being here today. I hope you got to hear enough about Jim. If you haven't, we'll have him back again. We could have him back again in a couple months when everything's starting to get ready.
Yes.
And I'll get him back in here. And we'll be going to 7 p.m. starting next Tuesday.
Oh, you're doing 7 p.m. now?
Yeah,
no more 2 p.m. Okay.
No.
Okay,
So this is the last 2 p.m. show of Inside the Soundwave. Next Thursday, too many things going on at night.
It's a little something. We'll hang in there, pal.
Yeah, God almighty, they're coming in and out. We'll be next Thursday at 7 p.m. with Fun Pipe.
Fun Pipe, nice.
Yeah, the guys will be here.
Nice. Great band.
Yep,
great band.
Cool guys. Next Thursday, 7 p.m. Inside the Soundwave. Today, thank you, Jim Griffin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris
Mr.
Rivas.
Soundwave.
Mr. Soundwave.
And Chris Rivas.
One more thing before I go. Thank you all for your donations last night. We had donations come in online to click that little button and send me $1 for the guys. We got to pay everybody for these sound stage theater events. We got to pay the guys. I'm not one of these bars that, in places that, you were going to pay at the door. No. Do a donation so I can pay the guys for being here, help me pay it. Okay, I want to put these guys out of Brevard. I said it. I want to make them be heard in Hong Kong, Europe, all over the place, okay? Not just here on the beach in Brevard. That's why we're doing this. Push the donation button. Send $1, send $5. Click it. Come on. Put the 12. No, I won't say that. I got in trouble for saying that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for last night. Thank you for watching Jim today. I'm sure he'll be a hit, just like everybody else has been on the show. Thank you, Todd Taylor, for backing the show. TC Ridge, thank you. And I say there's something you learn from helping other people with their dreams that prepares you for your own. Have a blessed. Have a blessed.
It's almost over.
Okay. Have a blessed and safe week. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you, Jim. God bless y'all.
Thank you, Will.